Lonzo, the godfather of the West Coast. Now you know, with Dusty Vision on the side, we ride, taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene, classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat, from 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip hop, like and subscribe.
Hey, folks, this is Lonzo from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks, from Eve After Dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop. My main man, Dusty. What's up with you, Dusty?
Lonzo, what's good, man?
Man, slipping, trying to figure out my screen just went. There you go. Okay. We good? What's happening with you?
Yeah. Man, you know, half of the country is shoveling snow out of their driveway right now, and here we are sitting in 97-degree weather, man. You gotta love LA, huh?
And why you got a hoodie on? That's my next question.
That's what's gonna be my next thing, because it's 69 degrees in my air-conditioned house, baby. I'm feeling good. I had this bitch like an igloo all day.
AC on right now in the studio. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah, man. Well, hey, it's St. Patrick's Day. Shout out to everybody who is gonna celebrate, participate. I had to wear the green because I am Irish by slave trade, but it is what it is, you know. But yeah, Lonzo, man, let's jump right into it, man. There's a lot to talk about, bro. There's so much going on. A lot of anniversaries this week that I would love your thoughts on. Let's jump right into the first one. March 16th, which was yesterday. That was the anniversary of the day that Eazy released the message to the press about him being diagnosed with HIV. I tried to find the clip online, could not find it for the life of me. It's one of those clips that just disappeared, but I watched it a few times. I remember it like it was yesterday when I think it was his attorney, someone that represented Eazy-E, got in front of the camera and read something from Eazy-E, and I put from Eazy-E in quotes. You know, who knows if you really wrote it, but when you heard that message from the person who was representing Eazy-E that day saying that he was diagnosed with HIV, what were your thoughts?
First of all, I know you didn't write it. Didn't sound nothing like something Eazy. It sounded like somebody was trying to write what they thought Eazy would write if he was going to write something like that. Nah, it wasn't even nowhere near. The verbiage, none of the verbiage was Eazy. They tried to emulate it, but I think his Ron Sweeney was his attorney at that time. I think he was the one that actually read that Eazy-E statement, and it didn't even feel right, man. It felt like the whole thing was fake, like we were being pranked or something, dude. Because nobody could believe it. Nobody could believe it. It was like, huh? You got what? And then the fakeness or the non-authenticity of the statement didn't gel at all with nobody, man. That's when everybody's antennas went up. The whole world, huh? You got what? Bull. He can't tell you? Nah. That don't feel right, baby. That don't feel right at all. So, yeah.
You know, I know it was well over 30 years ago, 32, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But what do you remember, you know, about that time specifically when you first heard that, okay, Eazy has HIV? It's strange. I mean, are you hopping on the phone with your boys? Are you getting phone calls? Are you trying to find stuff out? Or are you just kind of sitting back and peeping the whole thing?
Man, everybody's calling everybody, man. That was a conversation of the universe. It's like, huh? You know, nobody believed it. It was hard to believe. Then we started thinking about some of his activities. And unlike most people, I know Eazy likes women. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about it whatsoever. But we were here at that time. Yella was doing his movies. His movies. We're gonna leave it like that. He's doing them here in the studio, the same one I'm sitting in right now. And Eazy came by here pretty regular while Yella was doing his movies. And he had a different attitude when it came to them girls. What he did, if he did something away from here, that's something I can't vouch or deny that. But around here, his whole attitude was different. Like, man, for him, it was a straight money move. He was about to invest with Yella and make that whole thing. He was going to make it a ruthless thing or something like that. That was conversations of making Yella's movies a ruthless situation, you know. And he was talking about investing in it, making it bigger, but it never happened.
How did Yella approach you to do his movies, as you put them? That once again he recorded in the same studio that you're sitting in right there. But how did Yella come at you and say, "Hey man, I want to do this," and or how did that whole thing happen?
You got to understand Yella. When Yella wants something, he gets real jovial. Hey man, I got something for you, Lonzo. Hey. Normally he's like, hey, he's real laid back, but when he got Lonzo, hey man, look here. I got a way for you to make some extra money, but you got to be open to it. Yella, what you talking about, man? Look, wait. He gets real bullshitty, okay? Oh man, that kind of shit. The whole hands, and he drags it out for a minute. I'm making movies, man. I'm making these movies. I'm gonna have some girls come by the house. Say what? we want to the studio. I'm gonna give you X amount of bucks a day. What you doing, Yella? He started laughing and shit like that. And then we finally hit it off. At that time, I wasn't doing that. I wasn't married. And then I'm like, let's just have some fun. And that's what we did.
Were there people, the movies that he made, were they newer actresses, or were they actresses that have been in the game before, to the best of your knowledge or your remembrance?
The brother, the dude, the main guy he worked with, I've seen him a few times in various movies. Most of the girls that I know of were all amateurs. Some of them I saw later on. Some of them came to the club. Hey, don't I know you? Don't I know you? Oh yeah. You was okay.
Yeah, you and Big Yellow Booty 68. Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, and it was funny, man. Being in that industry, those girls patronized Mel Exotics, and some of them, and they hadn't blown up yet. But by the time I saw them again, they were pretty popular.
Yeah, that was a different game. Do you know if what exactly did he do out of your studio? Did he record? Did he do any distribution? Or he just recorded right there and a bunch of people walking around butthole naked?
He would record. It was like a real movie set, man. He did like a real. We had snacks, potato chips. You don't want to drink behind nobody, of course. They had tongs everywhere. He would come to the studio.
Yeah, craft services.
yeah, craft services, man. Anytime you go to a spot and you see red vines, it's only cracking. Now he had red vines the whole 9 yards, and the girls would come over. And sometimes I'd get bored. I'd go in the house and watch television or something, man, and they come looking for him. And where my door is, I could see from my door where I was sitting. I could see the door. Who in the hell is this fine? Oh my God! I tighten up my shit. Go to the door. Is N.W.A? Oh, you bug, man! Dude, I've been heartbroken. I have been heartbroken by some of the women that came to work with, the women you would not think would be anywhere near this situation. Oh, dude, it was really a crazy, eye-opening time for me personally, because I've seen guys drop their girls off in the front of the house. She come upstairs, and a couple times I'd hang out, I'd work a camera or just hang out, and I'd watch her work over a girl, a guy, do all kind of things, man. And one time, I remember when the lights went out in the studio, so it was behind time, and it took about 30 minutes to fix it. And the guy came up earlier. He came on time to pick his girl up. Now I just watched this sister work over a guy, a girl, various everything below the navel. Went to the bathroom, washed the hand, brushed the teeth, and they come outside and get this dude a big old kiss. And she's talking to him like, "Oh, the scene was just beautiful." Like she talking like she just got through shooting an episode of Gone in the Wind or some shit. Okay, she just like it was a regular Hollywood movie. I'm like, huh? And he was cool. I mean, he dropped. Man, some guys got that PIMP thing in them. They can do that. I ain't one of them. I'm sorry. And yeah. I think that was the hardest part, man, to see some of the more demure-looking women coming through. She could just as soon be a school teacher, man. She could just soon be a third grade school teacher, and she come here to get her free count. Okay, and it just was.
I can't even lie. Those are the ones that get me, Lonzo. The ones who look like they shouldn't be doing it, but they do. The freaky ones. Those are the ones I like. I don't like the ones that show all their freakiness out there. I like the low key freaks.
I've learned to appreciate them as well. I told a friend of mine, I said, you know something? A woman in the strip club. Yeah, I've been to strip clubs. I ran strip clubs, but a woman in a sundress, shit, she might as well be on the pole. As far as I'm concerned, she might get paid just as much. That's when that's why I might have a little trick mode. Okay, sundress and some nice shoes. Shit, that's more than a bikini for me, baby.
I feel you on that, Lonzo. I feel you. I appreciate that for sure. Hey, when we first started the show, about 8 years ago, which is just crazy to say out loud, you were 100% against the belief that Eazy-E passed away from AIDS. Fast forward to 2026. Are your thoughts still the same they were 8 years ago?
I have my suspicions, man. You know, everybody close to him have their suspicions, dude. It just didn't feel right, man. I mean, this dude was at my house a month before that, man, maybe 6 weeks. He's at my house. You know, he may have had bronchitis, true enough, but the problem that everybody had is that how fast he checked out. You know, again, I talk about one of the first people I ever known to have HIV, and that was Rock Hudson. And I remember Jerry Dunphy. I'm talking about Channel 7 News, Channel 2, whatever it was. When Rock Hudson was dying from HIV or AIDS, they gave us daily reports for months. Daily reports were being broadcast on television. Rock Hudson is resting comfortably in his Beverly Hills home as he suffers from the new AIDS epidemic. We'll keep you posted on his progress. Every day for months that went on, man. And we got told on the 17th of March, Eazy had AIDS, and shit, before the end of the month, he was gone. Was it April 7th? He died? Was it April? He was gone in 3 weeks? That don't, dude, that is one of the slowest deaths known to man. How did he get the express version? And so, and it's really the fact that there was no autopsy, the fact that he was married on his deathbed, the fact that nobody around him, wife, baby, nobody could figure out where it came from. There was no trail of anything. His wife was pregnant at the time. Okay, kid straight, baby straight. Where did it come from? Ain't nobody ever accused him of doing nothing with no man. So, you know, where did it come from? Where is the source? And where did you find that express source? Because Magic got sick. Magic was sick before Eazy, and he ain't never changed. His complexion ain't never changed. Magic got sick before Eazy. Okay, and nothing ever changed, man. In fact, he's pretty much cured. One of the few men that was ever known to be cured. But this dude gets the express version. Come on, man. And all these other things that go along with it, it just seems very suspect, man. That's all. I have no facts whatsoever, but it just seems so suspect.
Couple people said, someone said, getting married on your deathbed is crazy. You know Eazy better than most people. What do you think, considering he was in the right mind, what do you think his mindset was behind that?
Well, you know, Eazy, according to those who saw him, I didn't see him in the hospital. He was on the ventilator most of the time. So when you're on the ventilator, you pretty much can't talk. In most cases, like my son, he was just on the ventilator he spent all of February on the ventilator for the most part. And they sedate you because of being on the ventilator. So is so uncomfortable. Now you're not totally unconscious, but you pretty much non. We're not gonna say non-responsive, but you raise your hand, squeeze your hand. You're not doing you ain't having no conversations. So for him to be on the ventilator and make decisions like that is just very suspect, Doc. Very suspect.
Did you ever meet Tamika or know her before all of this?
No, I didn't. We met her in passing one time. We had a brief encounter someplace, and nothing I can say anything of substantial about.
Okay. She does get a bad rap. I don't know much about her myself, but when I do read or hear something about her on YouTube or whatnot, very rarely positive. Is that safe to say?
Not. It's never been a whole lot of positive to say anything about her. She don't do no. She's never done interviews. Everybody has their opinions, and that's all you can go by. It's everybody's opinions of somebody else. And like my daddy always say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one.
Yeah. R.I.P. Eazy-E. I mean, in a couple of weeks, we're going to go ahead and be coming up on his 32nd year anniversary, I do believe. I can't believe it's been 32 years, Lonzo. That's crazy. I mean, it seems like yesterday, dude. And that was one that I cried, bro. I didn't know him from Adam in person in real life, but his music touched me. I was a big fan, and I don't use the word fan of much, if anything, but I was a fan of N.W.A. And as a fan, I remember crying, bro. I remember I was 14 years old and I cried, dude. Did you cry? Honestly.
You know, not really.
I'm a big baby too sometimes, so
I didn't really cry. I was really depressed though, man. It was really nerve-wracking, dude, because you know, at that time my house was still surrounded by quite a few people, and it was a very somber time for all of us, man, because he meant a lot to everybody. Eazy was a very, very interesting dude, man. He wasn't just, he just wasn't about himself. He knew he lucked up on something that he didn't mind sharing it with nobody. You had never heard of Eazy being in a rap contest or being the top 10 rapper in any platform. Drake got him through his shyness, and he took that shit and ran with it. And he made him so much money, he had to take it and run with it. But because he knew he got it, I'm not gonna say he got it on a humbug. It was cool with it. He looked out for everybody, man. He was a very generous dude, and for him to go out like that was very, very disheartening, man. To everybody, it was very disheartening to see him go out like that for everybody.
Yeah. You've mentioned that Eazy was, by lack of better words, for some of the things that he did, a troll. It would be called a troll. He was trolling back then on a lot of the things that he did. Rock and roll artists, they did that with the devil. A lot of them knew if they put a 666 or a pentagram on their album, it'll sell 1 million more copies. But they weren't really living that devil life. Were there other, what were some other things, or were there other rap artists that did things like Eazy-E did? Like Eazy did, he'll do a whole interview and he won't say anything, or he went to the White House. That was a big troll. Were there other things that artists did, or were there other artists that did things? Because back then there was no internet, so you had to do something to get your name out there.
I think After Police is probably one of the biggest trolls they had at that time. When N.W.A. did what they did. Back then, they weren't called trolls. They were called publicity stunts. Publicity stunts. Publicity stunts were things. The king of publicity stunts, the king, he wasn't a rapper. He wasn't even in the music industry. But the king of publicity stunts was Evel Knievel. The king. That motherfucker will strap a jet on his ass and go across the ground and fly across them shit. No, they ain't gonna make it.
Grand Canyon and shit.
He wasn't gonna make it. He'll strap a jet on his ass in a minute and try to go. And it would be all over Channel 7, man. Back then, we only had, 2, 4, 5, 7, 11, 13. 9 and 13, and 13 had him on lock. Okay, anytime he jumped over some anything in Caesar's Palace, when he made that fall in Caesar's Palace and sprawled all over the damn, jumped over the fountain. That's what it was. Jumped over the fountain of Caesar's Palace. Couple times he made it. But these were his type of publicity stunts. It made him a lot of money. Broke every bone in his body multiple times. He broke every bone in his body multiple times. You know, his hospital bill was like phenomenal, but he knew how to get your attention. Eazy was probably one of the first ones from a rap perspective, I think, that did that, man. Because back then, before then, everybody else was kind of cool. You know, Eazy wore the straight jackets, the glasses with one eye in it. He go up to the White House, and you know, a lot of stuff he did was kind of generic. Didn't have to plan it. All you got to do was go through it. How many black rappers? Rap is still fairly new. How many black rappers live in Hidden Hills? And who would think that a black rapper living in a black man living in Hidden Hills named Eric Wright would be a rapper? You did not think that. Oh, Eric Wright, oh my God, he lives in Hidden Hills. He makes this kind of money. He's already donated to these organizations. Bring him up to the White House. Who the fuck is he? And that's what he got off on. Okay? Because there was no internet. All he had to do was be him. A little short dude, walking with his pants too big. If he wear 29, he got on the pair of 34s. You know, oversized everything. True hip hop dude. But he got the money. You know, and he walked in the White House and somebody got fired that day. They didn't do nothing wrong, but somebody got fired. He broke the color barrier, huh? But here's the crazy part. One of the few times that I disagree with Cube on some stuff, I never have dinner with the president. Man, dude, that was one of the most coldest publicity stunts I've ever seen in my life. That was one of the coldest publicity stunts I've ever seen in my life. Okay, and I'm laughing the whole time because it was a cold move. When he went on Arsenio Hall's show talking about Dre and them, okay, he come out there in a robe. What he didn't realize that he got flat ass feet. Arsenio Hall, he put his feet up on the little thing there, on the little whatever it was, ottoman or whatever, and they zoomed in on his feet. And the first time I ever seen him get self-conscious. Because he got flat, wide. He never wore tennis shoes, so your feet flattened out. Dre got the same kind of feet. But Eazy called himself being cool. He got the little robe on, and you know, going for the publicity move. But it didn't backfire. It just didn't go as good as he wanted it to go because they panned it on his feet, and he was, you know, he needed a pedicure. Put it that way. He could have used the pedicure. If he's gonna pull that move, you need to go buy a C Ling Ling, bro. But you didn't do that. But then, you know, that's when he came up with the line, Dre's heyday is Eazy's payday or something like that.
Dre Day only meant Eazy's payday.
Right. So, you know, he recovered. So they put him in position to be something that he didn't know. He didn't know what he was doing for a long time. He was just going along with it because it was working. Then I realized, okay, I got this figured out. Let's make this happen. And because again, you didn't have the internet, and he had a great publicity team. I forgot the cat's name up in Hollywood, but he had a great publicity team that milked everything he did, good, bad, and indifferent. And that's what publicity. A good PR person. Phyllis was a PR person for a while, but he had another team for a minute. And I think I do believe Rufus had another team overall. I forgot it was a man. Anyway, everything they did, they were able to take it and run with it. This is when PR was really powerful. PR is not as powerful as it is. Internet is more powerful than PR is right now. But a good PR person can get you all over the place, man. And they worked it. They worked it. And they had the money to pay for it.
Yeah, I mean, his Eazy-E's trolls, I mean, they last decades, man. I mean, he took one picture 36 years ago or whatever with the skateboard that had a pentagram on it. And 30 some years later, everyone's still talking about, was Eazy-E a devil worshiper?
Right. Again, there were certain things that you could do that was going to guarantee you some publicity. I think Bone Thugs and Harmony was the ones that also played with the pentagram. No, the Ouija board.
The Ouija board.
Ouija board.
That was their thing.
Yeah, the Ouija board. And Eazy, being Eazy, he checked it out. I'm not saying he did nothing with it, but he checked it out. But it was enough. But tell you what, they had a camera there and a reporter there, and they made a story about it. And what it did one thing it did its main job was got people talking. All they want you to do is talk. Corporations want you to do one or two things: talk about their product or buy their product. Anything else is bullshit. If you talk about it enough, you're gonna create curiosity, and somebody's gonna buy it.
Yep. All right, we're almost halfway through the show, Lonzo, but before we reset, I want you to tell everybody about your event on Saturday and how they can support it and all that good stuff. I'm looking forward to that, man. What's going on this Saturday?
Hey, folks, this Saturday, I'm doing the screening of my documentary, N.W.A, Not About Lonzo, at the KRS Center, the Crest Center on Western. I think it's 79th and Western. Dusty's going to be there with me. And my boy Torrance is going to be there also. After the show, we're going to do a panel. The Crest Center is a cultural center, folks, right there in the heart of LA on 79th, I think it is, and Western. Get there early because the parking is tight, but it's a cool spot. It's going to be an intimate setting, and we're going to screen the documentary N.W.A. Probably the last time before we go to our distribution, but we're doing a private screening for the movie. It's not semi-private. You're invited if you can make it down there. I am posting the poster on my Facebook and Instagram page. If you want to come down there, check it out, folks. And me and Dusty will be there hanging out with my boy Tori as well. And like I said, we're going to be doing a Q&A after the documentary. And you think you know the story? You don't know the story. You don't know the story. You think you know the story. You don't know the story. You're gonna see some sides of me you never saw before. And people think, "Oh man, I've been this way all my life." So it is what it is. Come check it out, folks. That's Saturday, March 21st, Crest Center in Los Angeles. Starts at 6:00. We'll be there hanging out. Come on through.
Yeah. All right, we're halfway through the show, so I'm going to remind everybody to hit that like button if you have not already. We do appreciate it. It really helps out the program, so I need everybody in this room right now. We got 29, I think, something like that at last check. I need you guys to hit that like button, please. And if this is your first time joining the channel, you like what you hear, you want to hear some of that real West Coast hip-hop, some of that grown-ass men enlightenment, you are tuned in to N.W.A stories. Not without Alonzo. N.W.A stories with Lonzo. I've been doing this for 8 years, Lonzo. I still get that mixed up, man. God damn. But we thank everybody. And if you're feeling generous, definitely hit us up with a little cash. There's a little $sign right below the chat. If you hit that, you can go ahead and shoot the channel a few bucks. We do definitely appreciate that. And right after this show at 7 p.m., join me on my channel. I'm going to post the link in the chat right now. We're going to be talking about the dark truth about the movie Juice, the movie that turned Tupac into Bishop, a lot of people say. We're going to talk about the transition from the early Pac to the Pac after he was in that movie Juice, and we're going to see if there was some change. So please join me at 7 p.m. on my channel. And before we continue, Lonzo, why don't you tell them about Band Buzz, man?
Hey, folks, Band Buzz, if you're an artist and you have music you want to sell and not just stream. If you have phone calls you want to get paid for, meet and greets you want to get paid for, Band Buzz is the app for you. We're not about streaming. We're not about free phone calls. If you have music and you have a price tag on it, you want to sell it at your shows, you want to sell it online and get paid directly to your account immediately, download Band Buzz, folks. In fact, I just talked to my partner at Band Buzz just a minute ago, Ken, and Band Buzz is putting together a portion that will allow you to chart your music. That's right. I just saw an article on what's the brother's name out of California? Damn, LaRussell. LaRussell was complaining about he sold 30,000 units and didn't get any charting action. Why? You're not registered with the charts. You're not registered with SoundScan. You're not registered with the people that report to the charts. So yeah, you can sell music, but you won't get no chart action. Hey, Band Buzz will be chart reporters in the next couple of weeks, folks. So you can sell your music through Band Buzz and get charted for get your sales charted to the Billboard charts. It's gonna make it a lot easier for you to move up and sell records and also get gigs. Once you start charting, they still look at the charts, folks. They still look at the charts as a measuring stick to see who was what. 30,000 records, physical products is not a lot, but in today's society, it's a whole lot. So and we just found out whether you're selling 12 inches, CDs, cassettes, or even jump drives, USB drives, they still record those as sales to Billboard. So if you want to be a part of that move, this revolution, and also we're adding the AI component that will help you set up your marketing program and the whole 9 yards. Band Buzz ain't playing. Band Buzz, we're not playing, folks. Download the app today. It's still free. Download the app, bandbuzz.com, folks. If you want to sell it and not just stream it, and get paid for it and not just talk about getting paid for it, Band Buzz is your way out. Peace.
There it is. There it is. Let's keep it going. You got a lot of great questions in the chat, and I'm going to get to each and every one of them. Some good, easy questions and some questions about old school house parties and stuff like that. But I want to start with this one, Lonzo, because we do have new listeners all the time, and we do answer questions quite often, certain questions. And I'd rather them get it here than go to some other platform and get the BS. But we've talked about this before, but Gabilan Plaza wants to know, was Eazy-E a known street gangster?
You got to understand, in the 80s, everybody, especially in Compton, was labeled based on where you grew up. And once folks stopped wearing hard-soled shoes and regular clothes, when the uniform changed to khakis or Levi's with the croaker sacks or whatever the case may be, and you hung at a certain park, you were automatically associated with this neighborhood gang. And Eazy's neighborhood gang was Kelly Park. Now, I've never heard of him putting in no work that will qualify him to be a street gangster, but I know he was in the street pharmaceuticals. He wasn't Nino Brown. He was doing like a lot of guys was, just making money till something else came along, and for him it was records. So is he a street gangster hanging out the window shooting at folks? Nah. Was he a street smart dude that saw a chance to make some money and change his life and mind shortly afterwards? Yes. A lot of guys back in those days tried the drug game one way, form, or fashion, folks. But he knew that wasn't for him, especially after his cousin got killed, and he changed his life. He still kept his roots in the streets. He still had love for Kelly Park, So I can't at your question. Was he a known street gangster? He was known, but not for being a street gangster. Put it that way.
There you go. Hope that answered your question. Strictly Funk says, Lonzo, you ever heard of Mother Diva? No, it doesn't ring a bell. I'm gonna look that up. Strictly Funk, tell us about Mother Diva in the chat and what we should know about Mother Diva. Silks BBB slot in wants you to reminisce, Lonzo. Talk a little bit about the 70s and the 80s, the 60s and the 70s. Damn, he or she wants to go way back. But street dancers that never reached celebrity status, house parties, free concerts in the park. I know you got all kinds of stories about concerts in the park, Lonzo. Talk to us about some of the concerts in the park and even some of those old school dances, bro.
Back in the day, folks, in order for a group to get popular, a radio station, KGFJ, KACE, would bring them to a local park. The record company would promote it, and they'd give a free, especially with the album about to come out, a free concert in the park. Some of the parks we would go to would be out there on Century and Western. It was called Sportsman back then. Now it's called Jesse Owens. We go to 103rd Street Park. What's it? It's Ted Watkins Park now. Back then it was something else. It was damn it, I can't think of it offhand. But they'd have a full stage, and you pull up, no ticket necessary, and there's Rick James. There's Tina Marie. There is whoever is coming up hot at that point in time. They would come out. They'd give a free concert. They pass out other records. It was a promotional time, publicity stunt for the record company and the artists. So here you are, and you got Rick James and the Stone City Band in your neighborhood, and that shit was going along fine for years. They also loved doing Southwest College and LA College down off of Vermont, almost to Hollywood. Those were the four or five places I remember the best because I'd always go to them. And it was, like I said, it was promotional moves for radio stations and for record companies. They'd all partner up together. Radio stations would promote it. Record companies would provide the acts and the production, and they pass out not only the artist that's on stage, anybody promos for anybody coming up in the next few weeks. So it was a big outdoor festival, man. And that's one of those things that got ruined by gangbanging. Another one of those things that got ruined by gangbanging. House parties. House parties was, man. Usually, if there was a house party in Compton, it would be two parties. Be a party inside for the grown folks and a party in the garage for the kids. We had the blue light parties. Mama pop in every few minutes just to see what you're doing. You know, they know we had slow records. We had Delphonics and Dramatics and Smokey. Fuck a pop lock. He was getting out grind though. You left there with your Levi's smoking, okay? He wasn't trying to pop lock back that, not then. And the grown folks would be in the house with the spades and the brown liquor, talking crazy. They ain't that dancing, having a good time. And every once in a while, somebody's mama, most of the time, because daddy was too busy gambling, pop out and see what y'all doing. We got, we had light. They have a light in there, like maybe a red light or a blue light, and you couldn't keep the door closed. Something stupid. You had to keep the door open. Something crazy like that. Because we close the door in a minute. Door get closed. Somebody finna get grinded on. Okay, somebody finna get humped. True story. So
it's a true story.
Okay. We didn't go for the fast record. We went for the slow records. And when people ask me, "Why? How can you never been a gangster?" I never did no gangster shit like that. No, nothing I've ever done was trying to impress another man. Everything I've ever done as an artist or as a human being was trying to impress women. That was the era I grew up in. I dressed to impress women. I talked to impress women. I made music to impress women. So I just couldn't make the personal change because I didn't feel necessary for me to try and talk shit to impress another man. And I grew up like that. We would walk to house parties, man. We walk a mile. No, maybe 2 miles to a house. Maybe about 10 or 15 of us walking to a house. Just like if you ever watch Cooley High. We would walk in Stacey Adams, 8-10 of us, to a house party or to a party at the park and walk back home. Party started about 6, 7, about 9. We strolling back down the street, headed to the pad. They didn't go late. They didn't go late at all. They were over about 8:30, 9 o'clock. But you had to be there because if you wasn't there Saturday night at the Tom Cross sock hop, you was a punk on Monday morning at Vanguard. So these are the kind of things that I grew up doing. Even when I started driving, I was driving at 14. No license. Couldn't get my license for 2 more years. No insurance. But I was driving my daddy's lawnmower truck. And everybody knew I could drive it. And every once in a while, my daddy would give me his truck. I'm going to tell y'all some real shit. If I see this in a movie, I'm suing. My old man would give me his truck on a Friday night, knowing we got to cut lines on Saturday morning. I didn't want to unload the truck. That's a lot of goddamn work. So I would drive the truck full of lawnmowers to the party and park around the corner. And they knew. So I would be embarrassed driving a lawnmower truck. And, man, you drive? No, I didn't drive. You lying. And they see me walk down the street. Where you going? Home is that way. I'm going this way. And they realized, man, come on, man. We're going to ride with you. I looked up all the thugs. That's why I never had a problem with gangsters. Because all the thugs would ride with me. I had a car. I had access to a vehicle all 9th, 10th, 11th grade. I had a ragged-ass station wagon. And first I had my daddy's truck. Then he had an old Mercury station wagon. He gave that to me. And that's how everybody went back. Everybody went to school with me in the Mercury station wagon. So I had these were the gangsters. The gangsters that robbed the grocery store, the gangsters that fought everybody. But they was my buddies because I had the car. And this was a different time. They wouldn't let me be a part of none of their bullshit. When they was gonna do some shit, I had to go. Hey man, go ahead, get out of here. They run me off like a puppy. Shoot, get out of here. I don't want to hear your mama's mouth. So these are the kind of things that I grew up on, man. These are the kind of stories that I think need to be told somewhere along the line. Ava DuVernay or somebody need to tell these stories, man, because these are real Compton stories, Doc. These are real Compton stories. I didn't live physically in Compton. I was born in Compton. I moved just outside of Compton, but everything I did was in Compton. I went to school in Compton Unified School District. I went to St. Albert's. That was in Compton. I went to Vanguard. That was a Compton Unified School District. Centennial. We had to, when your phone bill got turned off, you had to go stand in line in Compton. When your water got turned off, you had to go stand in line in Compton. So everything I've ever done has been in Compton. And Compton was a different city back then. My old man would take us to a place called the store. It was an Army surplus store called Sad Sacks. And it was the funkiest store you ever wanted to be. They had all Army surplus helmets and Army jackets. I'd buy that shit and wear it to school, man. I'd buy that shit cut. It had little patches on them and shit. You could buy the insignias, for airmen or Army Ranger or something. You could buy that shit. I would throw it on my little Levi jacket and be cool. So it was a different kind of time, man. It was a different kind of time. And even my girlfriend, she lived off of Long Beach Boulevard, and the bus stopped at Alameda. I'd walk out through the neighborhood and go to her house, and never got jacked. And sometimes I had to walk back. Never got jacked. And it just was a cool time, dude. It was just a different time, bro. And a lot of what I'm saying right now would not happen again because the mentality of the streets has changed so much. The fact that we talking about Eve After Dark the other day, when I open up another teen club, hell no. Hell no. Hell to the, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. It's a lawsuit waiting to be filed. It's a funeral waiting to be booked. Nope, not gonna do it. What else you got for me, Doc?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned Cooley High when you could walk to a party. I mean, you could even fast forward 15 years later when my generation was watching House Party. Kid, he walked to the party, and the only thing you had to worry about with those few knucklehead dudes from Full Force that were trying to get rid of him. He didn't have to worry about going down this street and dodging this street and not going down this street and not wearing this color. But you fast forward just a few years later, and that's what it was, man.
Dude, I relate to House Party more than any hip hop movie ever made. I can relate to House Party more than Juice, more than Boys in the Hood, more than Breaking, more than anything else, because I was House Party. I was Martin. I was the brother with the little ass car with all the records in the goddamn car. I'm the motherfucker behind the turntables. Stop bumping in my shit. Because all you have is records. And you touch them, they gonna fly across the shit. If you playing an album, 1 minute you playing the slow song, next thing you playing a goddamn fast song because some fool done bumped into your shit. When brothers went to parties wearing hard sole shoes, and you better not leave that party not sweating. Nigga, you damn near had to count your sweat, man. My sweat. Oh, nigga, that's how you knew the party. The party was jamming. Look at my shit, man. Oh man, look at my shit. That's how you knew the party was jamming. That's what we called it, jamming. It was jamming. It was jamming. It was jamming. And every once in a while, I ain't gonna sit there and fantasize this shit. Every once in a while, somebody got their ass whooped. Every once in a while, somebody got their ass whooped. And then forget one of my buddies got his ass whooped at Vanguard. I mean, at St. Albert's got his ass whooped. They called it jamming. And it was a straight jealousy move. It was a straight jealousy move where a guy would be dancing his ass off with the prettiest girl in the school, and he not from here. He ain't from here. So they rat pack his ass for about 30, 40 seconds. And no, he might get a bloody nose at the most, but he didn't go back and get no gun and kill nobody. But these are some of the shits that we grew up, and sometimes didn't break the dance up. And here's the crazy part. Only security we had most of the time, was nuns with rulers. Wasn't nobody with no pistol or guards there. So yeah, folks, it was a different time, man. The 60s, the 70s. And that's what made me want to do what I did, because I missed it so much and I got to be 21, 22 years old. I grew up with something to do every Friday or Saturday night. I grew up with something to do, whether it was Campanella Park, whether it was Gonzales Park, whether it was St. Albert's, whether it was Regina Cheli. All these 4 venues always had something for us to do, or somebody have a party in their backyard. And we never had no shooters at no parties. Mom and daddy in the house. They popping in every few minutes. Nobody got shot at no house party back then. All of a sudden, niggas started shooting up house parties. People stopped giving house parties. Negroes still give house parties today. But folks are scared that, they scared to rent an Airbnb and fuck off their shit. They won't do it at their house. That's real talk, folks. What else you got for me?
Can you hear me, Lonzo? Because I just got disconnected from my mixer. I just want to make sure I'm still audible.
I still hear you.
Okay, cool. We're good. All right. For whatever reason, I disconnected, so let me turn that off. All right, cool. Yeah, a couple days ago, Lonzo, let's move on to this. I saw a post that you recently made a couple of days ago. The Sound Control Mob and Crew Cut Records celebrated the life of DJ Mike T of Compton's Most Wanted, who recently passed. I would love to know a little bit more about Sound Control Mob. Tell us who was part of it. Maybe some of the unknown players that we don't get to talk about too much, as well as who are some of the behind the scenes players of Crew Cut Records that, we may not talk about much.
Crew Cut Records is pretty much a solo act. You're looking at Crew Cut Records right here. Under Crew Cut Records, you have, at that time, Lonzo Land Studios. That's my studio. Then you had Sound Control Mob, which was Big Slip, Rockin' Tom, Rick Rock, Master Rhymes, Chuck Small, Jolly Joe, the Twins, Lance and Vance. They I forgot they are Too Short's first cousins. Every time I see them, I forget about this. I've been knowing them for years, but they just don't register with me. We had Compton's Most Wanted, PG-13, Vanilla Ice, Vanilla C.
Oh, I'm about to say, damn, hold on.
See, she was the only girl in the group at that time. And yesterday, we had about 8 was there, Slip was there, Rockin' Tom, Rick Rock, the Twins were there. So we had about 6 or 7 of the fellas from the Sound Control Mob. And the picture, we attempted to recreate the album cover. I couldn't get down that damn low this time. No, it was hard to get out of there. It was hard to get back up. But it was, and here's the, I don't even think Mike, I don't even think Mike T was on the Sound Control album cover. I gotta look again. I don't think he was on the Sound Control Mob album cover. I don't think he made it. I'm not sure. I know Battery Brain was on that cover, but I don't think Mike T was on there. I gotta look again. But it was a celebration of life as opposed to a funeral. And most people don't understand the difference. A funeral is a lot more somber, a lot sadder. Most of the time, the body is there, people crying, they acted a fool. I mean, not like they acted a fool, they responding to their pain. Okay. A celebration of life is just people get together with a portrait of the person that's passed, and you have the same basic situation, but it's not as somber. I told stories about Mike T, how my daughters and her friends was crazy about Mike T. Mike T had green eyes, and these little heifers loved his green-eyed ass. And every woman said the same thing. When I brought that point up, that became the conversation of the females. We love Mike T eyes. Mike T had green eyes, green-eyed Mike, blah, 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 blah. And he was a good dude, man. He just was a good dude. I mean, they don't make cats like that. Mike T, as you read, he would be in the chat room many a day when we'd be here on the show. He'd call me after the show. Lonzo, you need to try so and so and so and so. You got to come out and see this right here. And he was up on his technology and was always turning me on to different stuff. So at first when I got there, I didn't see nothing. I sit on the other side of the room. I didn't see nothing. The fellas said, wow, these girls said they're supposed to be here. But I got to speak, and I saw they had a little cluster over there. I said, oh, okay, 8 here, chill here. Okay, not chill. I'm at 8 and Slip and Rockin' Time. I felt much better because I didn't know nobody in the room up until then. And it just was a good event, man, for us to hang out and celebrate one of the fellas, man, just to show him some love, man. He was and here's the crazy part. It was on his birthday.
That's right.
It was on his birthday. You know, I didn't realize it until I looked at the obituary. I'm like, shit, this is his man's birthday.
You
know, born March 16th, had a service on March 16th. So yeah, Doc. It was a reunion. Yeah. It was Slip flew all the way from Texas. 8 came from Corona, you know, and it just was, hey man, we had to come by and see the brother off, man.
Yeah. Damn. R.I.P. man. R.I.P. to a great DJ, man. Someone wants to know what is Slip up to these days? Don't hear from him much. Man, you talk to Slip pretty often?
Saw Slip yesterday, looking like Big Hoss from Bonanza. No, Slip's like 6'7", man. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's 6'7", big old beard now. Last time I talked to Slip, last time we talked about what he was doing, Slip was an underwater engineer. Okay. You ever seen somebody that operate those underwater drones that do welding and recover things? Slip was doing that. I asked him a question one time. I said, Slip, have you seen anything down there that would change your opinion about anything? He said, man, I signed the NDA. I can't talk about it.
Damn.
He started laughing. I can't talk about it.
Oh, you know he's seen some shit.
I'm like, what? He said, trust me, I just can't talk about it. All right, man.
Yeah. Damn. All right, I have this question for you, Lonzo. My brother and I were discussing this, and I would love your thoughts on it because you were there during the inception of hip hop. When I was coming up, hip hop was cool. Like, it was the coolest thing in the room, man. Oh, you're a rapper? That's cool, man. Oh, did you hear that new rap album? Yeah, that shit was cool. I personally think hip hop isn't cool anymore. My brother and I had this discussion. You know, now when you say someone's a rapper, it's like, oh, you too? You know, oh yeah, great. Did you hear that new hip hop album? Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't cool though. Is hip hop still cool, in your opinion?
That's an excellent question, man. You know, and I almost had the same response. I'm a rapper. Okay, whatever. You got lips. Everybody with lips is rapping about something. I got a mixtape, and I'm on Spotify, and it don't seem like it's definitely not as cool as it used to be. That's for sure. it's lost its impact. And even for somebody like myself who likes being an innovator, once I get involved in something and everybody starts doing it, it kind of takes the originality away from it for me, and make you want to look for other frontiers. Hip hop was the coolest thing we ever created. Yes, and one thing about hip hop, can't nobody say we didn't create it. Can't nobody say we didn't create that back in the 70s, 80s, whatever they would started. That was us 110%. But on the same token, can't nobody tell you that we ain't the ones that fucked it up either. Can't nobody tell you nobody else is responsible for fucking it up but us. And that's the sad part. That's the sad part. We built a dynasty, a multi-billion dollar industry, and we allowed ourselves to be infiltrated. We allowed ourselves to be manipulated. We allowed ourselves to be convinced that the only way we can be successful is bringing somebody else down. And people ask me, just like people ask me about this thing with T.I. and 50 Cent. I ain't got time for two millionaires beefing, dude. I'm sorry. But in the hip hop world, that's how you stay. These are publicity stunts I talked about earlier that people utilize to keep their names relevant. Tearing down another man, whether black, most likely a black man, is how you keep your name relevant. Lawsuits, bullshit, memes, and other things that you don't see any place else. You don't see I ain't never seen no country and western folks do what we do. No R&B, no jazz, no rock people. Nobody do what we do. So just like we created this thing, just like we created everything else, we created blues. They took it from us and took care of it. We created jazz. They ain't taking it all away. They damn show into it. We created rock and roll. They took it and take care of it. Don't want you to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for something that you created. That was a big thing that Gene Simmons was saying recently while his rap allowed in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Hip hop was created out the streets of Bronx. It was multiplied and perfected in Compton, shot to Louisiana, shot to St. Louis, shot back to New York again, and a lot of people made a lot of money off of it. But them same streets made it one of the most deadly genres of music known to man. And ain't nobody else from New York, ain't nobody in the Ivory Towers coming down and shooting nobody. Ain't nobody from Tennessee, the Tennessee State Capitol coming to the streets of Tennessee, laying bodies out. Same thing in Atlanta, same thing in any other city. Whatever happens to hip hop, although we created it, we are solely responsible for its destruction. And there's no regulation on it. There's no quality control. And this is when gatekeepers come into play. Gatekeepers have a purpose. And if we had more gatekeepers in hip hop, the quality of hip hop would still be at a different level. It wouldn't be where it is right now. Anybody can do it. All you need is your only requirements to be a hip hop artist: have two lips and be breathing. Fuck what you're saying. Just have two lips and breathe. Okay, and that's your qualifications. So no, hip hop ain't what it used to be no more, man. It's not the fashion has changed. We used to control the fashion. Don't control the fashion no more. We used to make our own clothes. FUBU, Sean John, whatever, cross colors. We made everything hip hop for us. They got rid of us and replaced them with Gucci and whoever else, whatever else brands that are now attached to hip hop. Used to be a time all you needed was one fat gold chain, hollow as hell. That shit jang like a tambourine. But that was hip hop. Now folks is wearing multi-million dollars worth of jewelry, but you can't wear it nowhere. You better not get caught shining. You If you get caught shining in the wrong place, you're gonna get caught leaking in the same place.
There it is. Great way to end the show, Lonzo. Great grown-ass man enlightenment there. I'm going to ask everybody to hit that like button before we head out. Damn, that hour flew by. And please hit that subscribe button if you have not already, and this is your first time joining the channel. And as soon as this show is over, join me on my channel. I'm about to post the link in the description one more time. We're going to be talking about the movie Juice, the movie that turned Tupac into Bishop. Got some good stuff going on over there at Dusty Vision TV, so make sure you join me. Why don't you hit them with that outro, Lonzo?
For those who never heard of me, I'm the first one to put Dr. Dre in the surgery, stuck Ice Cube in the freezer till he got cold. On the eve after dark, 50-yard line to Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater of rap. Don't believe the Hollywood bullshit because it was all cap. My history goes deeper than you will ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for not without Alonzo. Peace, y'all. We out.
Welcome to N.W.A. story with Lonzo, the godfather of the West Coast. Now you know, with Dusty Vision on the side, we ride, taking you back to where legends came alive. From ruthless roots to the studio scene, classic tales that the world's never seen. Every Tuesday night we spark the heat, from 6 to 7, history on repeat. So sit back, tap in, and enjoy the vibe. If you love hip hop, like and subscribe.